Every diner had its stars, the burgers, the meatloaf, the pies, but the real charm often sat quietly on the side of the plate. Applesauce wasn't an afterthought, it was part of the balance, sweet, warm, familiar. Today, we're bringing that classic side dish back to its roots with a simple old-school applesauce made just the way it was done back in the day. Hello my friends and fellow Apollonians, welcome back to Apaulo's Diner. I'm your host Apaulo Jupiter, and today we're diving into a true classic. In the 1940s and 50s, applesauce wasn't a fancy dessert or health trend. It was a staple, made from whatever apples were on hand, gently cooked on the stovetop and served warm, cold, smooth or chunky, depending entirely on the household. No shortcuts, no gadgets, no overthinking, just apples, a pot and a little patience. Let's get started! Let's start with the apples and get them ready for the pot. For applesauce, the apples really do all the work, as you can imagine. You want about 6 to 8 medium apples with good flavor and a bit of acidity. The rest will take care of itself in the pot. That's usually enough for 4 to 6 good servings. In the end, flavor matters more than structure. As long as the apples taste good, they'll cook down just fine. I'm using a mix of apples here, which was very common back then. If you had a few different apples around the kitchen, they all went in. No one overthought it, and neither should we. We'll start by peeling them. Not because I want to annoy you with this step, but because apple peels tend to stick around longer than we want them to. And nobody wants to be surprised by apple peel confetti later on. Next, we'll core them either with an apple core or the good old kitchen knife, and cut them into rough chunks. Rough chunks are totally fine. The pot will do the rest of the negotiating. So nothing fancy, this isn't knife skills class, we just want pieces that cook evenly. Once they're chopped, they go straight into a pot that's large enough. No ceremony, no waiting around. This is very much a get on with it kind of recipe. Now that the apples are in the pot, you add just a little water. Not to drown them, just enough to keep things from sticking while they get going. About half a cup should do the trick just fine. At this point back then, they usually like to add a small strip of lemon peel or a splash of lemon juice if that's what you have. Not to make it taste like lemon, just enough to keep the flavor bright and give the apples a little structure so they behave themselves in the pot. Now we pop the lid on. Bring it up to a gentle simmer and then let time do its thing. No rushing here. Apples can tell when you're rushing them. After about 15 to 20 minutes, you'll see them start to collapse on their own. That's exactly what we're looking for. Soft, tender, and very cooperative. Give them a stir now and then, just to make sure nothing's catching on the bottom. If it smells like apples, you're doing it right. If it smells like something else, then maybe not. Once they're fully soft, we can take the lid off and have a look. This is where you start thinking about what kind of applesauce you want. Smooth or chunky, both were perfectly acceptable back in the day. We'll come back to that in a moment. So once the apples are fully soft, this is the moment where we taste and adjust, because apples change, seasons change, and the applesauce always gets the final say. If you used lemon peel, now's the time to get it out. A little sugar goes in now. How much depends entirely on the apples and on you. We start small, you can always add more, but taking it back out is very optimistic. For me, that's just right. If you like, this is also the point where a touch of cinnamon can join the pot. Not too much. Applesauce was never meant to taste like a scented candle. Just enough to round things out and make it feel warm and cozy. And optional but very old school, a pinch of salt to round everything out. Give it a gentle stir and let it cook for another minute or two. Nothing dramatic happens here, and that's exactly how it should be. Now we finish the texture just the way we like it. For something rustic, a fork or a potato masher is all you need. No machines required. Although if one happens to sneak into the kitchen, I won't tell. If you do want it completely smooth, a hand blender is your friend. I like mine a bit chunky, so let's go with the good old potato masher. Alright, moment of truth. Delicious. That's exactly what old school applesauce should be. Soft, comforting, not too sweet, and very much doing its job. This is one of those recipes that doesn't try to impress. It just quietly delivers every single time. Serve it warm, cold, or straight from the pot when no one's looking. All of those are correct answers, especially the last one. And there we have it, a delicious, simple, yet classic applesauce. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me here at Apaulo Diner, my dear friends and fellow Apollonians. I truly appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this recipe, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more old school classics like this. You'll also find some wonderful content right here on screen. Until next time, my dear friends and fellow Apollonians, take good care, keep things warm and simple, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.